Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 2 of the side hustle series, where I do side hustles and you guys get to see exactly how much money I make and exactly how realistic it is to do this side hustle. Today we are driving Doordash. I've heard a lot of bad things, I've heard a lot of good things about Doordash, and I'm very curious to see how it compares to our previous episode, which was Uber. And if it's your first time to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, because we're gonna be doing a whole lot of these. In fact, I have over 100 side hustles that we're gonna do. And so without any further ado, let's get on the road and deliver some Doordash. Let's go.
A few moments later.
Interesting, look at all these hotspots. 5 different hotspots in Lehigh, or in the city that you're in. And then I guess you just hang out there until the next dash. It's our first order, dude. This is our first order. What are we doing? We're turning around. All right. Just this? Okay, thank you, appreciate it. Smells delicious. I think this whole business is reliant on tips. I mean, honestly, it's gonna be very interesting to see how many people tip versus don't tip.
Mission accomplished. Good work.
Plus $2 tip. Okay, so there was a tip involved. Okay, first trip is done. I still don't think it's worth the time to drive all the way here, especially now that we're out of a hot zone, but it looks like we're close to another different hot zone. So let's go there. Hopefully we can find our next order. Let's park. We'll wait about 5-10 minutes. If we don't see anything, we'll start heading downtown. We're gonna go to Holiday Oil. Arrived at, are we at a Holiday Oil? What are the odds? What are the odds? Hi, I just have a Doordash picked up.
This fool! He thinks he's gonna make money on Doordash. Not if I have something to say about it.
Okay, I haven't had a
Okay,
chance to again.
no worries. Ha! What the lady at the counter failed to realize was that I was already a 5-star Doordasher. Getting the food myself won't be a challenge for someone like me. So 20-ounce AW here. We're going to Cedar Fort. Is that far? That sounds far.
3 weeks later.
On to the next one. Confirmed. All right, heading home. Dude, I'm beat, actually. Is that weird?
Day 2.
Yesterday's deliveries were absolutely trash. Today, I got my Doordash bag in the mail, so I thought, you know, I don't want to give up on this. I think that there is some money to be made. Let's get into day 2 of delivering Doordash. Let's do it. Okay, just arrived at our first destination. We gotta go grab the food and then on to our first delivery. Woo woo, let's go. All right, so we got done with that order. We're gonna jump into the next one, but first we gotta make it back to our hot zone, so let's go. Okay, so I just picked up the food and I will go to put it in the bag and the freaking zipper falls off. Like, it fell off and now I can't get in here, and I also can't put the zipper back on, and I have to go deliver this. I'm gonna have to rip the bag. Just another day of a Doordash driver, I guess. Okay, just got another order, heading over to drop it off, actually. Let's drop this off and hopefully grab another one, and maybe even another one, and maybe even
Another one.
Hopefully you guys have been enjoying this episode. Don't forget, at the end, we are gonna cover exactly how much we've made, also what that breaks down per hour, and I'll give you my personal opinion of how good this side hustle really is.
20 minutes later.
All right, so I'm about to drop off the last order of the day. We're finishing off a little bit earlier than I thought we would, around 2 o'clock, but I guess it slows down here until 3. So what's the point of just sitting there? We're gonna go drop it off and then we're gonna head to the studio. We're back in the office and we're ready to talk about how much we made on Doordash. Now, we did 2 days on Doordash. Like I said, we worked 8 hours for a grand total income of $125.45. But now let's talk about expenses. More specifically, I want to talk about the fuel costs, both gas and electric, and exactly how much that impacts our total net income. For a gas-powered car, if we deducted it at around $4.50 per gallon, we would have made a rough total, again, not including any other maintenance costs and upkeep on the car, insurances, nothing like that, just the bare minimum, for a grand total net income of $72.98. Which means if we drove a gas-powered car, that is roughly $9.12 per hour before taxes or any other expenses, which most of us are gonna have. Now, I did happen to drive an electric powered car, and the fuel cost for that would be roughly about $25 to $35 at a supercharger, probably a little bit less at home, maybe around 12 to 15 bucks at home. So you would save a lot more money if you drove an electric car while doing this, obviously, which based off of those metrics, we made roughly around $90 to $100 with an electric car, which at 8 hours worked means we made around $11.25 an hour all the way up to $12.50 an hour, depending on your electricity costs in your area. And just like every single side hustle, I try to break this down if you were to do this part-time or full-time, so 20 hours and 40 hours worked. So here is the 20 hours worked for gas-powered car. Here is the net income for the 20 hours worked for an electric-powered car. Then here is the 40 hours worked for a gas-powered car and 40 hours worked for an electric-powered car. And so if I were to rate this side hustle, what would I give it? Well, personally, I'd probably give it around 2 stars because 1, there is the benefit of being able to kind of pick your own hours. The app design isn't that great. I wish it had more information. I wish it was more accurate on the distance and the time it would take me to drive, because I would hate to take a trip that would literally lose me money. Now, the other nice thing is that you do get to like listen to music or listen to podcasts while you drive around, right? But even then, you got to consider that other companies like Amazon or UPS or FedEx, they pay their delivery drivers a lot more than you would make doing DoorDash, and they don't require you to put miles on your car. And on top of all that, you can still listen to music and podcasts, etc., while you drive for these companies. And not only that, but they also consider you W-2, so you get 401k benefits, you can get medical benefits, you can also move up within the company. So there are a lot more benefits with those companies. That's why I rated this 2 stars, because honestly, I don't see why you would want to work DoorDash if you have those options. Now, if you don't, maybe you do want to work this side hustle. But the best way to make it work is obviously to have an electric car that has very little maintenance cost, and honestly, only do this if you can't do Uber, Lyft, or just work a regular job. But that's just my opinion. And if you're watching this and you consistently order food online and you don't tip, remember that DoorDashers are very hardworking individuals, even though some days it might not seem that way. And if you can't afford to tip, just don't order food and go pick up instead.
We're gonna be rich in no time. I think if we do like 300,000 of these, we might be a millionaire. Do 6, 7, 7. This is half of what DoorDash drivers have to go through. Just looking at the number, trying to find the number on that building.